Welcome, Wargamers. Join your hosts, Bonko and Monte, two Canadian wargaming enthusiasts, as we explore all aspects of tabletop wargaming. We roll dice, talk tactics, share hobby hacks, and explore new tabletop systems, all on the Trident Wargaming Podcast.
Hey, all you gamer junkies out there. Welcome back to another episode of Trident Wargaming. I'm your host, Andy. And with me is Jason one more time.
Howdy.
So, yeah, back again and talking some bolt action today. So, we just kind of been really shooting the shit. Just actually a little bit here before the podcast. So, we just figured, well, we better get this started. So, so ultimately, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the hobby, what we've been up to, our games, any current projects, stuff like that, what we're doing. And we'll probably take a little bit of a peek into the Italian Soft Underbelly campaign book and kind of go from there, really. So, yeah. So, how has your games and hobby been lately, Jason?
Hobby has been good. I've been working on tables, so I finished my ocean board as the base. So I have a 8-foot by 6-foot ocean completed.
Nice.
For all my Navy games. And then I'm working on a city fight base to go on top of that. So 2 boards detailed up with, craters and a trench and a whole bunch of modular terrain to go on top of it. That's still a work in progress. But, it's hard when I got the. It takes time. You got to do the same. You got to glue. You got to wait. You got to.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Wait, and I spend more time waiting on. Which is fine. It allows me opportunity to chug copious amounts of coffee.
Mm-hmm. Do you when you're working on terrain, do you get pumped? Like, are you like super hyped to get it going and just creating?
I got to tell you, one of the hardest things for me not to do is to stop as soon as the glue is dried on a step, to not put, some of my troops in that area or set up the modular terrain that I have kind of done on it, and which is kind of really a waste of time because then I got to take it all off and then start whatever the next step is. But instead, I'm playing dolls with my
dress up. You're playing dress up.
Playing dress up dolls with my friggin' miniatures here. Yeah, it's the hardest thing not to do in between steps. So, I get pumped. I'm very excited, and I think this will be the perfect table for our next scenario. That our Stalingrad, keep our Stalingrad city fight, because our next scenario is we're not talking about that yet, but it's actually in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, and I think this will be a great location for it. So yeah, I get stoked. And like I said, the hardest part is to actually finish it instead of playing with my dolls.
With your minis, yeah.
With my minis on it.
No, I get it. I know.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing too with those factories that I did a while back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Setting things up and taking some wicked pictures and stuff and whatnot, and that's another thing too, is once we decide on what day we're going to do it, we're going to play. I think I'm going to try to bring maybe some of my lighting that I use for like taking pictures.
Excellent. Yeah.
Right, and try to get some nice looking cinematic kind of pics to share with the people, and who knows, maybe I'll bring my gimbal just to give a little sneak peek of stuff. So
I live here, man. Your gimbal's already here.
Yeah. But yeah, terrain, man. Like it's funny because I had posted pictures of one of our drop-in nights from a couple weeks back, and
Oh yeah.
the pictures turned out really, really good, and people were just commenting all the time about just how the system is the best for terrain, right? So, and
Oh yeah.
you know, as much as having plastic terrain that's already made by the companies and you just got to snap together and paint it is cool. I don't know. Bolt action is a whole other beast. It's or even historical, I should say, not even just bolt action, but things look really, really good when they're like handcrafted by the players,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
and of course, funny you mentioned that. You know that your terrain you're working on. Of course, today I was doing a little bit of a cleanup and busted out the old crate with all my MDF terrain. You
Nice.
know, and I was like, "Yep, it's time to start getting some of this stuff rolling." So,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be epic.
mhm.
These fights we have coming up in the city itself.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's been looking forward to getting back on that train for sure, and just slugging it out and actually playing these missions, right? Like we've played so many of the generic missions as is that
Yeah.
it's definitely like a refresher when you start playing these specialized scenarios for the campaigns.
Well,
You know,
yeah. I mean, you take stuff that you wouldn't normally take. It forces you to make decisions you wouldn't normally have to make.
hmm
Uh, you're playing on kind of more specified terrain sets or at least ideas for setup.
yeah,
It really forces you to think outside of the box. A lot of the kind of special objectives that you have to meet, that you can tailor to it because you know roughly what the forces are going to be because it's dictated by the scenario. It really adds a whole other element. It's like playing a new game, to be honest. You know,
oh, it is. It is.
so I love it. I think it's by far my favorite way to play. Pickup games are great. I love them. I've had lots of fun. And including recently, stuff's kind of opening up a little bit more. Got to play the last couple weeks, at the store, and it's been great. But the scenarios, I think, is where it's at.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, you know, it's nice to set it up with a friend or you know, gaming buddies or whatever and say, "Hey, let's try this out and let's do this scenario. I'm going to play this, you know, you want to play that." Now you know your theater selector that you need to pick from and you can build your army and kind of thing, right? And then, you know, actually look at the scenario and okay, I get it. I know what I need to do. You know, let's play it out now, right?
Yeah, totally.
So the little that little extra prep work in the beginning, you know, before your match, where you know if you got a pickup match, you go and you set up your terrain that night of, and like you just play the game. It's cool, but if you have an idea of you know you're fighting over a little town that has a church that's been bunkered down in or something like that, you know, you can design that. You can make that proper on the battlefield and yeah, play it out. So it's one of those things that it's like I would love to just start doing that for drop-in nights. Hey, let's try this scenario out. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe it is something we can do as we get more of the scenarios done. We'll have some terrain I can bring in,
Mhm.
to match what we need.
I've noticed. Actually, it was funny. I noticed our friend Chris there, who plays with us as well, he had brought his own terrain, and he actually had a picture of what his terrain was going to be set up like, right, on his phone. Now, less than 2 weeks, that's twice now that I've seen somebody do that, because the other drop-in night, the other guys who were playing that night, the Flames War players, same thing. He had all his terrain. He brought his terrain, and he had a picture of what his battlefield was going to look like. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's maybe something I need to do, right? When I set up a cool looking table, and a table that has a nice theme to it, like that table you did the other day there. That the town that was kind of had like a curve to it. You know what I mean?
It wasn't straight blocks,
Yeah, that's a habit I got to break out of. But yeah, no, it's good. It's a good idea. It's something to not only in bolt action, but any other tabletop game that would work quite well with, especially for like events, really.
Yeah, it works. Especially you're bringing scenery to an event or to the store to, set up a table for fun, which is what Chris was doing. He said, I'm going to bring some of my terrain to jazz up, one of the tables one night. Not his exact words. I think I'm the only goofball that says jazz, but
no, anyway. I do it too.
Okay. Phew. But anyway, to jazz up a table and just make it a little bit different than what we normally play on, because that's where we play mostly. And he set it up at home, so he knew kind of what to bring, that it would fit on this surface, and make a fun looking table. And then took the picture, brought it, looked it up when he was setting up here or at the store, and bingo bongo, had a great game on it. It was great.
Oh yeah, for sure. Looked great. So good stuff. Yeah, myself really spraying up some tanks.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you're going the Soviet route for the tank war event coming up.
Yep. I had just acquired my other T-34 the other week, and slammed that thing together, and then slammed the KV together.
Nice.
And I was trying to actually build the second turret for it, and unfortunately, Butterfingers here let one of the pieces slip and bounce and lost it in the
great
bottomless pit of doom. So that was kind of a little downfall for the second turret for the KV2. So it's a KV1 right now, which is good enough. But got them sprayed up, sprayed up, ran out of paint.
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
The paints that I was using is it's a Vallejo set that it specifically has targeted painting up Soviet vehicles, and these were the colors you used, right?
Oh, do they come with those baby bottles though? The little
yes.
Yeah.
So
I had gotten one of those. You know what I've learned to do though, Andy? Here's my tip, because I bought one of those back in the day for a German vehicle.
Yeah.
Is that I look on the back, I see what colors I need, or what they recommend, and then I buy them separate at the full bottle size.
Yeah, that's I thought I had that same color, but I didn't, and then the local shop here doesn't have it, so I gotta go to one of the other shops and check it out, right? So, but got the greens all done up where I needed it, and we'll touch it up afterwards, but that'll be a project for this week coming up. And
Nice.
yeah, that and just kind of planning what's next, right? So I got to get some terrain ready as well for that event. Some Cerisa Precision train tracks, stuff like that. Make sure I have
Sweet.
everything kind of prepped. But other than that, yeah, that's really about it. Oh, I did a demo game for new player, which is cool. She
Oh
had
yeah.
she had a lot of fun trying out
What
the game.
what army was she starting? I overheard. I was at the store that night that she had brought a tank with her. That's what she had bought.
Yes.
What army? I was curious. I forgot to ask.
So she decided to go with the Italians.
Oh, fun.
So yeah, it was pretty neat. She had bought in the book, and she had a tank. But she didn't. She's brand new to the game, right? So has played some tabletop wargaming, but yeah, picked it up actually quite easily. It was a great game. She had a lot of fun, and it was probably one of the best demo games that I had done, because like literally everything that you wanted to come up came up,
Nice.
right? And yeah, it was good because I brought my French army and I literally just split it in half, and we ended up just battling it out. It was probably about, I don't know, maybe 500, 600 points aside, and maybe less. And yeah, it was good. Was able to see anything from snipers to artillery, tanks, recce,
Sweet.
you name it. It was pretty much shown. So it was good, a lot of fun, and always nice to try to get a new player coming. So
Yeah.
and it's funny because on the weekend there, I stopped in at the store and ran into her again. She was picking up some more Italians, so
Oh, nice. She's going ham.
exactly,
There
which
you
is good.
go.
We're getting some more Italian players coming in, which is good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Different mix.
exactly. So speaking about the Italians, we were kind of looking at the new campaign book a little bit.
Yeah.
The Italy Soft Underbelly campaign book. So it's pretty cool. But before we do that, I almost forgot, actually.
Dun dun dun.
I had a little conversation with our rep, and the combined arms set.
Ooh, excellent.
I'm hoping that will be coming, so that we can explore that. That's almost one thing I almost forgot to talk about is combined arms. It's a big one.
Yeah.
So with that coming, and with one of the maps that Leanna, our local shop at Red Claw there, has gotten us, it's like the perfect storm,
Oh yeah.
right? Like it's a hex-based map, which can be combined with combined arms and whatnot to finally get something going for an ongoing event, campaign, league, whatever you want to call it. So
Excellent.
very excited to see what it's about, to see what extra little rules and stuff, or campaign events, rules, initiatives, missions, whatever they have in it. So very, very excited to see that come down the pipe. I'm definitely going to study the shit out of it and and try to apply it to our community, and to try to get guys coming out more and get some hype and excited to start rolling dice in a campaign like that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I'm excited. Just what they kind of showed already. It looks pretty sweet. and really more than just for the 4 maps that they give you, which are fairly generic. I'm not too excited about the maps you get,
Mm-hmm.
but the fact that you can, it seems from what I've seen, that you could apply it really fairly easily, the system, to any map really. Maybe some modification. I haven't seen exact details, but really just a format to help facilitate uh, campaigns sounds great. And I love the concept of land, sea, air involvement in in a campaign too. I mean, maybe less sea when you're talking about invading Russia, but land, sea, air campaign sounds amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And having, because I know the guys in our community, they've some of them have taken to Victory at Sea, right? Which
Yes.
is which also came up in my head about trying to get some more of that going at the store too. But also Blood Red Skies, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I have that set as well. And I did.
That's. Oh, sorry.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
you get
That's the one that I have,
yeah,
Blood Red Skies, but I haven't really played.
same.
Victory at Sea, I love. I have it in spades. I played it, love it. I'll play it more. And Blood Red Skies, I have it. I haven't really played it, and I'm excited, to integrate it, into my gaming.
No, for sure. Yeah, and I haven't really given it a shot either. But it seems like it would be simple enough to just sit down one session or evening or whatever and just roll dice and see how it is, right? So they got
Totally,
some
yeah,
nice models as well, and to incorporate all three into something would
yeah,
would be like the ultimate kind of combination. So combine arms with whatever little intricate rules and stuff that they're coming out with for it is going to be super exciting. Trying out some of these other games again and getting familiar with them is going to be super exciting, especially when our restrictions start to pretty much go away. Um, I think good times and
yeah.
possibility and opportunities for more little events, and switching it up a bit too, right? Like you're painting up a fighter wing, 4 or 5 fighters. It's a nice little side project compared to I got to do 50 infantry for my French army kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
break up the monotony for sure. And I like Victory at Sea. I really enjoyed painting because they kind of you feel more accomplished. I know, like basically a ship is basically like a guy, for bolt action. But when you paint a ship, you feel like you've done more than when you paint a guy in bolt action. Even though they're the same size, or technically even smaller, a lot of the ships, smaller than a standard infantryman. If I paint one infantryman in bolt action, does not seem like a big accomplishment. But in Victory at Seas, hey, man, I got that
it's
ship done.
it's the I guess it's the curse of 28 mil, right?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you look down and you have a regiment of British riflemen or something, and it's like, I got like 60 of these to paint.
yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the airbrush. Hold on a sec. you know, um, Compared to, oh, I just painted the USS Enterprise or whatever, right? Like, cool, it's done, awesome,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
In two,
it's in every game and hobby. I there's times where and you know this, and you've seen it. I've gone super hard to get stuff done, like hard to get stuff done, and then I get to that point where I burnt out,
yeah.
you know. But either way,
That's where these scenarios that we're going to do. just pulls me back into painting a million Soviets, but excited about it.
There you go. There. Don't worry, you'll be able to use those Soviets more and more.
So many of them.
But yeah, so besides myself trying to like derail the Italian thing here, going back to that. So yeah, campaign Italy, soft underbelly. So it's a thick book. That's definitely for sure. A lot of scenarios in it again, like a lot of these new campaign books, right? There is a fair bit in here. And where is it here? 10.
12, I think, right?
Yeah, 12. 12 scenarios.
Yeah. So, it's actually kind of scenario light compared to some of the other books.
No, that's true. That's true, because I think a lot of them are like 15 or something like that, right?
Yeah. So, fairly scenario light, actually, but still, it's 12 scenarios. And I know, I don't know if you want to touch on any, but I'm going to skip ahead of you because I got to talk about
Give her.
Monte alle Difensa. That's my Italian accent. Man, I don't know about you, but as a kid, The Devil's Brigade was one of my favorite movies ever. And, I've heard lots of stories about 1SSF, the Devil's Brigade, growing up. So I love this scenario. And just the concept of an entire force climbing up behind the enemy on an impassable, in quotation mark, cliff, and then fighting their way down a mountain is so cool. So there's lots of other cool things in this book. I just had to make sure that I did not forget that with my old man memory. FSSF is so cool. They're the original badasses.
It's an iconic, a unit and whatnot, right? Like, you hear the stories, or everything's passed down to you from whoever, stories from your dad or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I grew up a army brat, and
there you go.
One of the places we were stationed at was that unit successor was stationed. So I've heard lots of guff, and also with my grandpa hanging out at the Legion, and
there we go. Yep.
All those kind of things, and that movie, I loved it.
I'm pretty sure everybody did.
I was a kid and loved that movie. So you don't see a lot of movies with, especially back in the day, with Canadians in it.
No.
And this unit is made up half Canadian, half Americans. And by the title, you might be able to tell that it's the first Special Service Force. That's what the FSSF is. So it's it was a new concept of back when they were developing commando type units.
Right.
So
that's pretty
fun
cool
stuff.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad it's in here, because there is I think in the back there's some more Canadian stuff too, I believe.
Yeah, they have a theater selector for Canadians in Italy.
Yeah.
So it's the 1st Canadian Infantry Division, and I think the 4th Armored Brigade. I could be wrong about that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's a lot in the back for sure for theater selectors and whatnot. In Sicily and Italy, and just there's even Irish stuff here too. Yeah, there is Canadian reinforced platoons. You even have Indian Army reinforced platoons. So a lot of stuff like that. More German Fallschirmjäger. What else we got in here? Obviously a whole bunch of new Italian theater selectors and units as well, right? And then of course, you got more German. You have the Hermann Göring division in Sicily and Salerno. What else we got here? You got like a Gruppo Mobilia Cari reinforced platoon. It's kind of like a mobile group for the Italians. A coastal reinforced platoon for the Italians as well. Yeah, quite a few new things in there. They have characters in here as well. United States stuff as well. British heroes. That's one thing we haven't really done is played with any heroes, but we make our own heroes.
I am the hero.
So it's pretty good. A lot of info. There was going back to these missions. I just happened to stumble across the scenario. It's scenario 10 in Termoli. Now, the one thing that caught my eye, so it's like page 63, is they usually have like a picture of like the map, the setting of the game, right? This one is like the length of the page. So I was like, what's this? So this is a multiplayer game. Like multiple players on each side, which I haven't seen yet in these books, right? Either I've missed it or I haven't seen it in some of the books or I haven't checked it out, but apparently this is supposed to be like the German is supposed to have 2 players and then the Allied force is supposed to have 3 players.
Sweet.
So I'm going to have to take a little bit of a deeper dive into that down the road here and check it out and see how applicable that is for larger events.
Yeah, holy tremoly.
So, but yeah.
Also, they have an airfield scenario.
Yes.
Scenario 8. Not even going to try to say it. Monte Corvino airfield.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just excited about that because I have all the scenery for an airfield. Hangars and control towers, runways. I'll get to use it. Sweet.
Well, yeah, they it looks like that they're actually interactive to the game as well, right? So
yeah,
looking like they have a 7+ armor, and from the looks of it, you have like units with demolition charges.
Yeah,
and it looks like you're supposed to try to blow up the airplanes, right? So, some different rules in there, ram and slam. I guess tracked vehicles can ram into these.
Yep.
Stuff like that. So, and of course you'll have the various kind of rules that they usually slip in, like no outflanking or mud, stuff like that you'll see kind of across a lot of scenarios or a lot of campaign books. You have, what else do we got in here? Some nice maps of where the battles have been happening, kind of thing. So I think it's going to be a quite well done campaign book again, just like the last few that they've been pumping out. So good on them for doing that.
Really, they're this one's 176 pages.
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of material, a lot of fluff, a lot of information about the armies, a lot of and the places, a lot of cool pictures, uh, and a great read whether you're ever going to play a scenario out of it or not, really.
Oh,
But
for sure,
also
for sure.
some new units, and two in particular that I noticed: the Motociclisti. Oh my god, I'm terrible. uh, Infantry section, basically like a motorcycle unit, which is fun. I've never really used a motorcycle unit, but
Neither have I.
I kind of want to because it sounds cool. And also, it's not something I necessarily think of when I think of Italians. So, uh, kind of fun. And also, here's the next one. So, that was kind of neat. Next one is Ex Regimento Arditi, which are kind of like they were designed to fulfill a role kind of like the British Commandos. And so another thing you don't necessarily think of when you think of Italy is elite troops.
That is
But
true.
yeah, and they have their own officer with this unit, like a like an officer entry you can select. Um, they have their own kind of infantry squad. They have their own specialist infantry squad, which is XRDD Saboteur section. And I mean, these guys look tough. They're pricey, but they look like they'd be no picnic to run into. But it's just kind of fun, you know, units that aren't necessarily thought of when you think of Italy. You know, you're not necessarily expecting to run into the commandos, essentially.
No, no, and like that. These are all new units compared to like the regular Italian book, right?
Yeah.
And even like the Guastatori Destruction Group, they're engineered demolishers, right? So they have like Bangalore torpedoes and demolition charges, so they'll
Yeah.
fit right in with some of the missions. But
Yeah.
that's a whole other new unit to play around with. Um, and then what else do you have here? You got some vehicles as well, or it looks like maybe one new vehicle. Yeah, the Saharinia for Betty.
Yeah.
I guess it's a soft skin. Looks like it has flak machine guns on it or something like that. So HMGs, MMGs, two MMGs. Yeah, so it's a lighter vehicle, but nonetheless pretty new. It's pretty cool. So with that, with the units in here, and then in combination with the units that they already have, it's definitely strengthened the Italian army itself. And then of course, you get to kind of play around with these units and regular units, and be it scenario or be it your gaming group is okay with playing theater selectors just all around like our group is. So pretty neat. And then of course, if you go through the book, we're not really going to go through like the other units, but apparently the new German units are in there as well. What else we got here? Then we got some new British and Commonwealth units, which we mentioned a little bit earlier. And yeah, there's Royal Canadian Engineers section. And then Popsky's Private Army. That's in there too. Royal Marine Commandos. So again, there's a lot in here. US has some new stuff in here too, apparently. And then you have the 1st Special Service Force, the Devil's Brigade, the Black Devils. It looks like they have their own section.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Darby's Rangers as well.
That might be a force I have to do, Andy. Stop me. Stop me. I have too much work already.
No, but they got some options in them. And they have some pretty cool looking minis for it too. But yeah, take a look at that stuff. There's a lot of new units in here. 82nd Airborne. Lots of new units. And then of course all the heroes like we mentioned before. But pretty good book, I'd say.
Yeah, it looks great.
For what's in it?
I've been flipping through a bit, and I love the books anyway. So whether I do ever end up doing an Italian army or that FSSF army, I don't know, but it is hella badass.
And this is the book for it, right? So
yeah.
What else we got here?
It's fun anyway, and I mean, just us playing through that Stalingrad book has made me appreciate the books more.
Yes,
I want to play through them all eventually.
Exactly.
I just need more time, money.
See, and another part of this book in the back, they actually have new generic weapons. So demolition charges, Bangalore torpedoes, and then multinational forces as well, like ad hoc units, which is pretty interesting. They also have some campaign rules in here as well for like Rule the Skies, SAS saboteur teams, poor air ground coordination, booby traps, stuff like that. Minefields, which is it's pretty good. They actually got a whole section at the back of a well-organized special rules section. So, and then of course there's fortifications, which we know like the Italian army is able to deploy in these attack and defend missions, I believe. So, trenches, weapon or gun pits, barbed wire, that kind of thing. So, pretty neat. Helps a lot with making it a little bit more interactive, I guess, the battlefield, and a lot of nice options in that book to play around with, especially if, those are any of those armies that you're interested in or you want to start up or you wanted to expand on, right?
Yeah.
So, because I mean, we haven't really seen too many players come out to play as Italians.
Well, funny you say that, and then this week we had a new player with Italians and one of the other games.
Yeah, the other
Italian player, but yeah, normally no.
Yeah, because I know it was a little while back. We had one player come out for a couple times with them, but other than that, yeah, it was just you didn't even see them, and it could be for the same reason as some of the other factions that like Belgians and stuff. They don't have a lot, which that's part of the history, right? You're using them for the scenarios and stuff, but now that you can actually try to build a force out of it, which is good. It shakes things up as well, right? Because I mean, most of the time you go out to play, and if you're playing Axis versus Allies, it's mainly Germans that you're fighting against, anyways.
Yeah.
So it's having a little bit of a change is good. But yeah, I'll have, like I said, I'll have to do a little bit of a deeper dive into it. And not only is the book itself looking pretty good, but the new miniatures that they've been showing and releasing, I've had that chance of actually getting one of the sets and looking pretty closely at the minis. And again, they did another fantastic job, just like they did with the Canadian set and all these new plastic sets that they've been coming out with.
Nice.
Guns are molded to the arms for easier assembly.
Yeah, which at first, when they first started doing that, I thought, this is a terrible idea. Why would they do that? You get less freedom than with having those weapon sprues. But gosh darn it, when you're trying to build those things and you got to match up the arms and, to get them in the right position, and inevitably you're going to have at least, a couple of units or a couple of guys that you have to bend their arm all wonky to get the gun to work, and you got to putty up the backside of his arm. And
Did you find that with
ugh,
the Soviets?
yeah, I hated it.
So the Soviets were
I,
my first army, right?
yeah.
And that's exactly what happened to me. I got um I went a little further than I should, and I like clipped out all the arms.
Oh, you were screwed then. Yeah, because they
So
do make sense once you figure it out, but it's literally like, and they don't label, it's this arm goes with that arm,
exactly.
and it won't go with anything else, because God forbid you try that. Jeez. But these molded arms are way better. I first did them with my Airborne. The
Yeah.
new British Airborne had them. Amazing. It does limit the poses maybe a little bit, but not much more than the other way, and it's way easier.
Yeah,
Way
it
easier.
is comparing to like trying to, slam in that rifle into the hands of the miniature, and your sausage fingers make one
Yeah.
one slip and that's it.
Yeah, and the weapons themselves are a little bit beefier. Maybe a
Yes.
little bit bigger than they should be,
Yeah,
but
but
they don't snap off,
exactly.
right? I have so many older models where their rifles are just broken in half.
Yeah, I found there was a couple of factions that had that. So,
Yeah,
but
so I like this new technique.
and then they are and have, I think, shown and are releasing some new plastic kits for some of their tanks as well, which is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
and
So,
the second Italy book for the rest of Italy.
yeah, which is cool. They've really gone the mile with bringing out these campaign books. So it's good. Join it. Got to collect them all.
Yeah, yeah, I'm that friggin' Pokemon guy
Yeah.
with the hat, trying to figure. God, I sound like such an old man talking about that. I'm that freaking old Pokemon guy. Anyway,
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, coming weekend is the tank event, and hoping we're going to have a pretty decent turnout for that. So I'll be
excellent.
definitely running around taking pictures, partaking in the event, hopefully, and hopefully maybe some new faces come out to try it out as well.
Try it out.
So
Bring out a tank.
exactly. So excited to get that up and running and having people have a good time with it, and that might actually lead down the road into something else with involving tank war, which would be pretty cool. Change it up, right? Guys like to switch it up, so
get a couple tanks painted up, easy peasy.
exactly.
Bing bang bong. I'm just talking in sounds now. I do suppose that's what all talking is, but anyway, I digress.
Well, no, it's good. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week's episode. And thank you guys for listening, and thanks for being out here again, Jason.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for having me.
And we'll definitely get some more games going, pictures, all that fun stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed, and we will catch you guys next time.
See ya.
Trident Wargaming. Build it, paint it, play it.